Mr. Jerry Vaval. What's going on, bloody?
JTG.
What up, what up, what up, what up?
Let's welcome the audience to another episode of Giant Fundamentals, the podcast dedicated to empowering men by tackling the issues of mental health. With that being said, my mind, my body, my heart all feel good. Um, and I'll give you a little bit more because I know as a therapist, good is good an emotion? Is that a justified
It's a
emotion?
state. It's a state. It's not an emotion.
It's a stay. Okay. My mind feels I don't know what the term would be. Not I don't want to say clear, but it's not cluttered. It's like
Mhm.
I could see things as they're happening for me in every stage of my life. Right? I could see me waking up, getting my routine together in the morning. I could see me going to work, coming home from work, and just boom, everything is just lining up. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I know I need to do this, to do this, to do this, to do this. And I'm being present in what I'm doing. I'm not worried about the future.
Mhm.
Right? I'm not saying, man, if I don't do my 10 push-ups today, I'm gonna gain 20 pounds next month. Like I'm just like, hey, I didn't get to do my 10 push-ups today. I can do it tomorrow. I'll make sure to do it. I get right back in line, right? Fall off the horse, get right back on. Um, my body feels well rested, took a rest week this week and just really focused on my eating. And my heart feels I feel loved. I feel appreciated. Mostly by myself. Like I feel that way about me. I don't really need it from anyone else. And I feel good because my daughter is turning 17. My oldest daughter is turning 17 in a couple of days. So I'm like, wow, she's almost an adult, technically. And just, thinking about her growing and seeing the different things that she's handling in life. Um, that's what I'm just grateful for. I'm grateful for her to see another year around the sun. So, how's your mind? How's your heart? How's your body? What are you grateful for?
Um, my mind. My mind does feel a little bit all over the place. Just a little bit, I would say. Okay, let me not say all over the place. I feel like mentally I'm transitioning. That's what it is.
Good one.
I'm
Good one.
transitioning from living my life a certain type of way, doing certain things, being certain places at a certain period of time, having certain responsibilities, to now transitioning to a lesser role and doing all these different things. Like I feel like my mind is starting to. It's like it's calming down, but in the same breath, is there's some anxiety there because it's like, oh, I don't have to do this, I don't have to do that. Like it's kind of like trying to find something to do, but then my heart is like relax, like you need this time,
Hmm.
you need that, you need this level of consistency, I guess monotony, like the same type of thing, just getting up early in the morning, 4:30, going to the gym, reading, journaling, seeing clients, chilling for a little bit, smoke the zeb, go to bed, do it again the next day. Like it's just that's been my routine. And it's like weird because I'm not running around doing so many different things.
Hmm.
And this is very important for me because this is a part of my healing. This is a part of me stepping into the best version of myself. This is a part of me finding and getting back to my true self.
Mm.
So I think with all overall with that, I feel I think I feel several things.
Mm.
I feel content. I also feel at peace, but I also do feel anxious because I'm like stepping into a version of myself that I've never witnessed, I never lived before.
Mm. Wow.
So,
I have so many questions. But go ahead. I'm sorry if I interrupt you. Did you want to finish that thought?
yeah, so simply it's just there's the, and I think with that, that's what I mean the transition. Like, there's so many different things going on at one time, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, there's so many things going on, and it's like there's a level of excitement. That's another something else that I feel. There's a level of excitement. There's contentment. There's peace. There's anxiety. There's worry, which is anxiety too. But just throw some terms out there, some feelings out there, some states out there.
Amazing. I took some notes, and I think that it really deals with our main topic. So I want to give the audience some M&Ms, something to chew on while we get ready for our main topic.
Okay.
And our M&M, our mental health music today, would be Tiana Taylor's new album, Escape Room. And I didn't get to listen to the complete album as of yet. I'm transitioning through the songs, but the reason why I wanted to bring that album to this podcast today is because I watched her Breakfast Club interview this week, and it's really funny because and correct me if I'm wrong, was it the last episode we were talking about men and divorce?
No, it was a few episodes ago.
Few episodes ago, man. We record so much.
Yeah, I was still in Orlando when we recorded that Men in
Yeah, yeah.
Divorce.
Man, no, we you were still in Orlando when we were talking about men going through divorce. Wow,
Yeah.
time is transitioning for real.
Yeah, I think that was the last episode we did when I was in Orlando.
Okay, got
But
you.
that was like
So
a little about like a month ago. Yeah, about a month, almost a month.
what I liked about her interview is she was talking about her divorce from Iman Shumpert, and a lot of the feelings that she expressed are feelings that we talked about in our episode. The
Mm-hmm.
betrayal, the not understanding, like this person I loved once now is against me. The trying to keep it as peaceful as possible, but not being able to control the outcome or the other person. All
Yeah,
these different feelings, and I think it just shows that even as men, even though we may feel this way, that it's not something only to us, that women can also feel the way that we feel, right? And I love our podcast because what we're showing on our podcast is new, especially for women to hear from, right? And I think that's important when expressing feelings and expressing hurt, and the journey of healing is that a lot of these things we can all relate to. It's not about my pain shouldn't diminish your pain, and vice
yeah,
versa, right? So this album, I challenge everyone to listen to because she expresses a lot of pain, a lot of the lost feelings that she's gone through this album, and I think it's a great expression for men and women to actually dive deep into, right? Um, is there anything you wanted to share on that, or piggyback?
yeah. I would say, I'm always aware. I've always, not, I'm not gonna say always, but for a while, I've been aware that men and women go through the same things, especially as a therapist, and I'm seeing men and I hear women speak, so on and so forth. My big issue is that women just don't allow us to. Women don't like they don't hold space for us in that way.
Hmm.
Like, and that's my biggest challenge. It's like if you're with a woman, she's gonna hold space for you. Well, hopefully, because some women are on that toxic masculinity stuff. But if you're with a decent woman, she will hold space for you when you guys are good. But when things are not good, then it's like, oh, my feelings are more superior than yours. And that's the
Hmm.
shit I don't like. That's the thing that really bothers me. It's like, yeah, you're going through what you're going through. You're feeling what you're feeling. You have a certain way that you see what happened and how you experience me. And I'm not going to take that away from you. But when I start to say, hey, this and that, so on and so forth, you can't take that away from me. And you don't even have to go as far as divorce. You don't even have to go as far as separation. You don't even have to go as far as breaking up. It's even in the midst of a relationship where you have a disagreement, you have an argument, and essentially women hijack the emotions in the room. And the thing about it is, men will always be at a deficit if we don't get our emotional intelligence up. Because we caught like a deer in headlights. You know how many men that have told me that, oh, I thought about what I should say after the fact. Man, why can't I never remember during the fact? Why can't I remember in the moment? And I said, well, it's a literal thing that there's been research that has been done by John Gottman, who's a marriage and family therapist who has over 50 years of research, where it's something called flooding,
Hmm.
where the woman actually floods the man with so much emotions and he gets stuck. It's literally, just think about it like a fire hydrant. You uncork that fire hydrant, the water's rushing. You cannot stop it. It's just going and going. There's nothing you can do about it. So we literally drown in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is, it's very challenging because I'm not going to say that women do a better job expressing how they feel. They verbalize it and they put it out there, but I'm not going to say they do a better job at expressing it, because that expression has to be something to where it is giving space for both of us to come to the table to tackle the problem at hand. Not you just vomiting on me and telling me, oh, you did this and you weren't that. It's like, are you really trying to rectify the situation? Are you really trying to collaborate? Or is it something to where you just want to vomit on me because you just upset? It's like,
Mm.
and we get stuck like that. And that shit not fair, dog. It's like, and then once we start to say, oh, we feel this, we feel that way, then there's a reversal. There's like you twisting it and you changing it. And it's like, yo, as men, we're in a lose-lose situation. So, I hear what you're saying. Like, yes, we do share the same emotions. We do. 1,000,000%, because we're all human. But the fact of the matter is, the thing that a lot of men deal with is like, first of all, I don't even have language to even tell you how I'm truly feeling,
Mm-hmm.
because I haven't been socialized to be able to do that. I wasn't brought up to really understand my feelings. So that's number one. That's deficit number one. Then number two, we get into the situation and it's like, man, if I do understand how I feel, is it socially appropriate as a man for me to say how I feel? Is it appropriate? Because or is it going to be a strike on my masculinity and my manhood? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you see what we dealing with, and it's like, yo, women be thinking that we just out here just like we don't care and we this and that and that. No, that's not the truth. One, we haven't been given language, we haven't been given space, we haven't been given permission to express emotion. And two, a lot of the times the moment is just so emotionally overwhelming. We can't deal with it because you are vomiting
So
on.
on us, because one of the things that I hear you saying is that we need to actually, in a relationship, we need to start practicing that opportunity of sharing emotions versus waiting till it gets to the very end, which is like a divorce or a breakup, and
Yeah.
now we're trying to put everything on the table at that time.
Yeah.
So what is one active step or practice that a man can do to start balancing that playing field, so to speak, in the emotion game?
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know if there's really something you can do to balance it per se. All
Mm-hmm.
I can say is you have to be the one. You have to know what you're willing to deal with. You have to know, like, okay, I'm going to say this because this is important for me to say. However she takes it, that's on her. And then, of course, you're not just going to say anything reckless, right? Because I would hope the objective is to protect the relationship. I would hope so, right? And that's the thing. Like, are we really coming to the table trying to protect the relationship, trying to grow the relationship? Because guess what? If you are, understand that there are going to be things that are going to be said in that conversation, and they do not have to be disrespectful. But there are going to be things that are going to be said in that conversation that will hurt you. Don't take it personal, if the objective is to see how the relationship can move forward and grow. Because all I know is when I go to the gym and I haven't exercised in a long time, boy, that lactic acid builds up and I'm doing them weights, I know I'm sore for a few days. But
Mm-hmm.
guess what? I keep going, the pain goes away, I get stronger, I get used to it. See, the problem with a lot of us is we are tiptoeing around conversations that need to be had in order to make the relationship go to the next level, because we're tiptoeing around them because we are afraid of losing that person. But you don't recognize that as you're afraid to lose that person, lose the relationship, you're losing yourself. This is when resentment comes into the picture. This is when you get to the point where it's unreconcilable because it's built up so much. You think you're upset at that person. No, you're not upset at them. You're upset at yourself because you weren't brave enough. You weren't courageous enough to have the difficult conversation because you didn't want to be alone. You didn't want that person to leave you.
Now that you're warmed up,
I'm warmed up. You revved me up real good.
I like this. Said a lot of things, right? One of the things you started about in the giant gratitude section was stepping into a new version of yourself, feeling that anxiety, right? Then you also talked about in our M&M section, coming to the table and not worrying about how we look, or that might be a worry of us. How we look? Are we going to look less masculine? How is that person going to take us expressing those feelings? And as nuanced as the healing journey is in a human being, something that sparked in your mind as well as mine is why caring what people think about you is hurting you way more than you realize. So if you could kind of give us a preamble as what took you down that, that thinking, that lane of thought,
Mhm.
and what are we missing when we care so much about what people think?
Yeah, so I'm always reading something when it comes to growth, healing, spirituality, mental health. I'm always reading something of that vein. I'm always listening to something. That's just a part of my routine. Those are things that I value. I value spirituality. I value growth. I value healing. I value evolution and advancement. So I don't know. I'm just going through my regular routine and I don't know, something clicked. Something, I heard something. And then I text you, I was like, okay, I want to talk about this topic right here. Why caring what people think is hurting you more than what you think.
Mm-hmm.
And then this morning, I'm going through my routine. I journaled, and then I'm reading the book Let Them by Mel Robbins. And I'm really taking my time with this book. And it's like, it's really hitting me in a way where it is deeply shifting my life. It's like I was already shifting, but it's like it revved up, like because what I'm reading is really tailored to what I've experienced my entire life and what I am transitioning out of into.
Mm-hmm.
So this morning I read the chapter, I believe it was chapter 5, about not caring what people think. And then as I'm reading it, I'm like, oh, wow, this is very interesting. How this let them theory, like pretty much what she's saying is like, let people think what they want to think. Let people do what they want to do. You have no control of people's opinions of you. You have no control how people perceive you. You have no control of what people do. Let them. Let them and then let me. Let me is how will I respond to what people say. And a lot of times it's not necessarily you responding like verbally or physically. A lot of times is the response is no response.
Mm.
And that is a big part of caring what people think about you. It's like you're trying to find a way to make sure that people perceive you and think about you in a certain way. And that causes a lot of heartache. That causes a lot of overthinking, a lot of overanalyzing, a lot of self micromanaging. And as a result, you're keeping yourself in this prison and in this box. And that's how I was like, okay, yeah, this is it. This is it. We gotta talk about this right here because they're men, as men, yeah, I don't care what you say. Most men care what people think about them. You
Mm-hmm.
care. Why do you care? Because you're trying to make a certain amount of money because you're trying to look a certain type of way. You're trying to drive a certain car because you want to be perceived in a certain type of way. You want your girl to look a certain type of way or to have a certain type of status so it can reflect on you so you can look good. You want to have a specific type of home because you care what people may think about you in the type of home that you live in. And I'm going to tell you right now, I always have to make this preference is that there is nothing inherently wrong with wanting all of those things. But it is the motive and the energy behind why you want those things.
Where does that motive come from? Like, I think when we were talking, you mentioned it a little bit about like wanting to be accepted, or if I grew in an environment where I was heavily criticized. Is that, if you can kind of break down, is that what's driving my motive? Because there's a lot of niggas going to Turkey for hair transplants. You know what I mean? I remember back in the day.
I need to go myself though.
Yeah, I'm saying, but back in the day, everybody was cool with the MJ bald head. You know what I'm saying? It was cool to be like you were balding. It was a sign of grace and wisdom. Now it's like, yo, you balding your hairline. Like now you gotta go get the turkey joint. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? So why are we acting like Akon? Like why are we, why are we, what is that?
Yeah, so here's the thing. We care so much about what people think and we self micromanage what we do because we're afraid of what people may think and say about us because at the core of every single human being it is needed for every single last one of us to belong.
Mm,
That's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is like textbook one-on-one psychology.
yeah.
Maslow hierarchy of needs. If y'all don't know what it is, it's that pyramid and then from the bottom up you go up to the top. So I know that the first level, the foundational level, is having shelter, having food. The second level, I don't really remember all of them in order, but
Mm,
I believe it's the third level. There is belonging, but then there's five levels, and at the top there is self-actualization.
mm.
Okay, so you need everything on the bottom, the foundation, and you need to build up, and that's how you become who you were designed and meant to be.
So let me give it to you. So I won't
Mm-hmm.
give you the description, but I'll give you the principle behind the pyramid. The first level, the foundation, is psychological needs,
Mm-hmm.
air, water, shelter. Then it's safety needs, personal safety, love and belonging, which family, friendship, community,
Mm-hmm.
esteem, which is self respect, confidence, and then
Yeah.
self what's the word?
Self-actualization.
You went to college. That is
But you
creativity.
did too.
It wasn't traditional, but it's creativity and personal growth.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you're saying that in the top portion, the self actualization section, is
Mm-hmm.
where we find that struggle of sometimes, or maybe all the time, thinking about what people think of us.
So here's the thing, okay? That self-actualization is like the apex of human existence as an individual.
Okay, okay.
So this is where I know who I am. I know my values. I know what I want in life. I know the direction I want to go in. I'm okay with all my fuck ups and my screw ups. And I love myself more than anything in this world. It's just full self acceptance. That's really what it is. But that apex is dependent on the other levels. So the last level, not the last, the first level is the foundational level. Which one you said? Well,
Psychological needs, the air, water, food, shelter.
yeah. So you got to make sure that you're in a place where you have food, you have shelter, you're not in want or need of any of those things.
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna just stop right there. Even with that right there, if you're growing up in poverty, if you're a kid that moved from place to place to place to place growing up, if you grew up in a household where your water was being shut off or gas was being shut off, depending, living up north or whatnot, you didn't have electricity, whatever. That foundation right there has been disturbed.
Mm,
That's the foundation. But that's what that's trauma right there. Okay?
mm.
So essentially, trauma disturbs you from reaching that self-actualization. But that's just that level. What's the second level?
Safety needs, so personal safety, health, well-being, stable environment, financial security.
Okay. Now that goes into that. So now if those basic needs of shelter and water are not met, then of course that means financially things are not right. Then you're talking about safety. Think about going to school every single day as a kid, worrying about someone's going to try to take your money, someone's going to try to take your shoes, someone is going to bully you. You're not protected. That's trauma. That right there is heavily impacting self actualization. Now we go to the third one. The third one is belonging, family, friends, community. You grow up in a home where your father is not in the home, or let's say your father is in the home. Let's say your mother is in the home. Let's say you have both parents, but both of them are working. You are a latchkey kid. A latchkey kid being a kid that when he comes home from school, there is no adult supervision. He is
Right.
left to do whatever he needs to do on his own because there's no one there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you grow up in a situation where your parents neglected you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you grew up in a situation where there was a parent that abandoned you, whether it was a mother or a father. Let's say you grew up in a situation where you were overly and heavily criticized.
Yes.
So okay, this is so that aspect of belonging
Mm-hmm.
is not there. So what ends up happening is to a lot of us, and this is the point right here, you start to say in your mind subconsciously, I want to belong somewhere. I want to feel loved.
Mm-hmm.
My dad left me, so I must not be good enough to be loved. My mom is always working. She doesn't take time to really spend with me. She doesn't pour into me, care and love. Okay, what can I do to get this care and this love? What can I do? What can I do to feel like I belong? And this is when we start to pick up things along the way. Like, oh, if I do great in school, I notice when I do good in school, I get all the hand claps. Oh, I get praise. So I always have to be the top of my class. Oh, well, when I play good in sports, my dad comes out to my games and I actually do really good and I can see the pride in his eyes based off of the touchdowns I score or the points that I score.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need to be an elite athlete. That's what I need to be. So now we start to develop these narratives and these ways of thinking, and from those ways of thinking we create these personas, right? We create these identities that tell us, oh, I just have to be the smartest in the room. I have to be the best athlete. Oh, if I can get my mom out the hood, if I can lift my family up, then oh, I will be celebrated. Let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna keep it real. We're gonna keep it real.
That's what we do on this podcast. Keep it
We're gonna
real.
keep it real. So I remember when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
my father abandoned my mother in a cold basement in Chicago, Illinois. My mother left me in the hands of my grandparents to take care of me. My
Mm-hmm.
grandfather passed away when I was 5 years old from sickle cell anemia. And when this happened, this literally shifted the course of my life, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I'm thinking to myself, man, nobody loves me. Nobody's here for me. And then I'm going throughout my entire childhood feeling that way. And you know what I said to myself? At a very young age, I think as early as 8, 9 years old, I told myself, you know what? One day I'm going to get married and I'm going to have kids. I'm going to have my own family. And this is how I'm going to prove to everyone that I'm worth being loved. You see the motive right there?
Yes.
The motive came from a place of hurt. It came from a place of not feeling loved. It came from a place of not feeling as if I belong.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to gain that belonging by doing something admirable in the eyes of people. And then guess what else? What happens? Right? I get like 18, 19 years old. I'm the black sheep in the community.
Right.
And then I remember going to church and one day I was like, oh, it was after that car accident. That's what happened. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That car accident, me running from the police and everything. Y'all want to know about it, just, buy the book, fed up, just find it on Amazon. Right?
Shameless plug.
Yeah, yeah. So that car accident, when I ran my car into that house going 90 miles per hour when I was 18 years old, that was a mile marker in my history because I felt so low at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I felt so low. I feel like, man, nobody's here for me. So I went all the way in, thrusting myself into religion and church. And I remember when I did a poem at church and how I saw like the leaders, the youth leaders looked at me. They was like, whoa, like they were just so impressed. That's when I felt that sense of belonging. I said, this is what I need to do. I need to be religious. I need to be this way. So now I developed a persona to be this religious person. And you see, now that I'm no longer religious, people are very shocked. And people are like, yo, this nigga left the church. Like, what the fuck this nigga doing? Like, Jono? But here's the thing. It's because I've been doing my healing work and I recognize over time this is a persona. I was operating in this form because I wanted to belong. That's not who I am. And I
Mm.
don't want to be that person.
So it's funny you say that because I see that myself or other people, my peers, we get stuck in that those levels of esteem, of love and belonging. It's like because you want to be loved and belong in a part of a community, your self esteem is now built on that premise of, oh, I need to have these skills, this money, these accolades to be loved. So it's like we constantly go
Yeah.
back and forth to that level. And is that something that you experienced when you were building that persona?
Ask me that again because my phone cut out. Somebody called me.
Oh, somebody call you? I thought you. Okay, got you. Because I saw you got a little emotional.
Yeah, I did. And I didn't realize somebody called me.
Oh, okay, no
Yeah.
problem. So I'm saying is that between the love and belonging and the esteem, I see a lot of us get stuck between those two levels.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
motive on building self-esteem and confidence is based on how we're loved and how we feel like we belong.
Most definitely. That's exactly what it is. That's why it stacks up on top of each other. Yeah, and so now we because we build these personas and now we're getting this praise, it's building up our self-esteem, but it's building up our self-esteem not from the place of our true authentic selves. It's building our self-esteem from the persona that we took on to gain that love and belonging. Because here's the thing about love and belonging. You're not supposed to earn it. You're not supposed to do anything for it. It's something that's just supposed to be given to you.
Mm,
Because you exist, because you are born, because you are part of this community, people love you. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. But you already know you growing up in a zoo, you grow up in a Caribbean, you grow up in that culture, you don't get love and acceptance until you do something that's worth it.
mhm,
That's the fucking problem. So many of us out here, yeah, we may seem like we good, but strip away that career, strip away that money, strip away that house, strip away that car, and then see how your people respond to you, how they look at you if you don't have those things.
mm.
See how that feels.
That's
That's
tough.
how you know.
That's tough, bro. You doing the rich young ruler right here, boy. That's tough. You telling me to take everything away because well, something that's come to mind is these Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's almost like climbing Mount Everest, right? And if you are not, I don't want to say not patient, but if from the start there were some things that may have made your climb a little difficult, a little rocky, or changed your vision, it may be hard for you to get to the top. Where sometimes when you climb a mountain, I haven't climbed one, but I've watched documentaries on it. And for those of you who have, sometimes
I've climbed one. I've climbed one.
okay, my bad.
Well, yeah, it was Malawi. I walked up one. It wasn't really a climb. It was walking up. Yeah,
So
it was.
it was a steep. It was something else, right?
Yeah,
And if you start to go the wrong way, sometimes you have to come down on that mountain a little bit to find your path back way up to the top. So it's like once you get to that esteem level, and you, like you said, you strip away those things, and you realize, oh,
yeah,
I got to go back to the
yeah.
to the ground floor.
You got to go back to the ground floor. You got
Hmm.
to go back to the ground floor. And that's the thing where people they get stuck in their healing journey. That right there. That's what causes people to continue going on a specific route that's not good for them because you're scared. You're scared because you're like, yo, I was doing this for 30 plus years, 40 plus years, 50 plus years, 60 plus years. Are you telling me that this ain't it?
Yeah.
Nah, you telling me. And then this is when when I tell clients, it's like, yeah, you gotta exercise self love, like you said in the beginning. Like, yo, you love yourself, like you giving that to yourself. Huh.
I appreciate
People,
that.
people, but people don't know what you had to go through to get to that point, though,
Yeah,
and what you've been through. Many people don't want to go through it.
yeah.
And people would rather just stay stuck in their personas. They rather stay stuck in that version of themselves that's likable by others than to actually go all the way back down to the beginning of the pyramid at the very foundation to start building themselves up. It's crazy. We rather people like us, and we hate ourselves. That shit is fucking crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy. And I was like, nah, you know what? No, I ain't doing this. Like, I want to love myself. What does that take? And then I told you this the other day,
Yes.
a couple of days ago. I do with my clients when they're stuck in a decision or whatever. It's simple. And this is what I do for myself. Ask myself a simple question. Do you love yourself? Jono, do you love yourself? Yes or no? Yes. So get your ass back down at the end of the pyramid and do what you got to do. That's it. There's nothing else. There's no, oh, but I'm going to wait till this time. Oh, I'm going to wait till. No, there's no. Just go back down to the foundation. That's it. But you see, it takes a lot of courage because you're going to lose relationships. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose respect in the eyes of people, but you don't get that's what you need. Because people have been looking at you from the wrong perspective. That's not who you are. So you need people to not respect you in a certain way anymore. You need that. That is imperative. You need it because that's not who you are. But you see, the thing is, we're so concerned about what other people think about us. We don't recognize that is a prison. Look, I don't care what anybody has to say. When I see Trump, when I see Kanye, when I see Elon Musk, who else? Oh, Michael Jordan too.
Mm-hmm.
These figures, they don't give a fuck about what people think about them. You know how freeing that is? Yo, you could say, and this is the problem. We keep looking at what people do on the surface. We're looking at right or wrong. We're looking at decisions. Just look at the essence of how the person is living. They don't give a fuck. Yo, that is living life. That's what true living is. But a lot of us are so afraid. We are deathly afraid. And we're keeping ourselves, like, literally, you're not just in a prison, but you in chains in the prison.
Wow. No, I mean, you said it all. I think just to put a nice little bow on it, right? Because we love practicality, and I love how you said very simple. Just ask yourself, and I want you to walk me through this as I say it, right? Because as if you're my therapist, right? So, John, are you telling me to lose my car and ask myself, Jerry, do you love yourself? And I'm supposed
Absolutely.
to say yes. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, lose my job, and I go and ask myself, Jerry, do you love yourself? I say yes, and you telling me to keep going. I lose my marriage. I lose my kids. And I'm like, okay, Jerry, but do you love yourself? Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm about to lose my side chick. That's the only way you know what I'm saying? That's hard. That's hard for us men. You lose your. But Jerry, do you love yourself? You know, I'm about to lose some of my brotherhood, right? You're going to lose people that you've respected the most, right? And you're going to realize that you gave them too much respect. You respected them more than you respected yourself.
Yeah.
Jerry, do you love yourself? Yes, I do. And the great thing, and I can speak to this personally, is that once you make those decisions for you and you start to climb back up that mountain, you, like you said, the sense of what you're doing, the motive you have behind it will be such a freeing spirit that you wouldn't even believe the person you were before. You wouldn't even believe the persona that you had. You'll be like, I can't believe that I was that person. And with that being said, because I love myself, I love you too, bro.
I love you too. Until we pod again.
Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, the man that says he can and the man that says he can't are both right. Which one are you?
Street cred was a major priority, and no respect for any authority. If you love school, you were in the minority. Can't be yourself, only way was conformity. In the dark,